Hey, what's up everyone again? It's Bonkers here. Back with another kind of review and a how-to over this Frankfort Arsenal case trim and prep center. And you've probably seen in a couple past videos. To start off with, I have this thing for going on 2 years right now, and it's, in my personal opinion, it's the piece of equipment that's single-handedly saved me the most time in making precision ammo and helping with the case prep part of reloading your own ammo. So I'm going to go over some of the features of this thing and a couple ways how to adjust it, how to set it up, and then a couple of ways that I've kind of modified the way I do stuff here to kind of make things go a little faster and make it a little easier on yourself, and kind of make your cases look a little better. So first off, going to the actual case prep thing you got here. I keep the box and all that stuff just because I'm a nerd, and if I ever need to sell this thing later, if I want to trade it off, it's a lot better if you have the box and stuff to ship it in. Makes it a little more money out if you ever sell it, but whatever. So this thing is, as you can see, reading the box, it does trims, chamfers, deburrs, and cleans the primer pockets of your cases. It works pretty ingeniously. Instead of you got a lot of trimmers out there where it's basically hand powered, where the case is stationary, and then you move the crank and the cutting head to actually cut the case. So you basically, it's all either power tool or freaking elbow grease that you chamfer stuff with. But this thing is actually stationary. The case goes in here, and you push in the case, and the cutting head stays the same. So I found you can get very close cutting lengths for your cases that you're doing. And I'll point out a couple ways that you can screw things up if you're using this thing. But anyway, getting down to the nuts and the bolts of this thing. Let me make you mobile here real quick. All right. So to get this kind of started, as you see, it's got three. Light in this apartment kind of sucks. You got three rotating gears there. Actually, four if you count the head. You can chamfer the inside of the case, and this comes with it too. It comes with. I'll show you start there. See what it comes with. So it comes with this tool, and it goes into a 110 outlet. It comes with everything you see in here. So you got I think it's like 8 or 9 of these neck plates. 3 different sizes. I think it'll go anywhere from like .25 caliber. It says on there up to like .47, something like that. Actually, let me read the box here. From .17 to .46 caliber, so it'll accommodate any necked cartridge up to that size. So I've got one in there already. I've been doing some 7.62 cutting here recently, and I'll actually cut a few, but you can read the caliber and kind of what size it accommodates for. So this thing, it comes with that. Right here, some of the features. The fans in the back, and I'll get to that in a little bit too. But you got your little handle here where you can set your distance. If you want to set, you can adjust it. I've seen a couple reviews on this thing where guys have screwed this into their platform so that it doesn't move, which is, I think it's a good idea. But for my purposes, it doesn't suit me too well. I just kind of hold the back of it and go off it. And just be wary that if you're one of the guys like me, I started doing it like this, where I put it like that and just use downward pressure, just kind of like, I think RCBS has a case prep center that does that, and it's up and down. But this thing, be wary because the fan is in the back, so you'll get that motor pretty hot if you do it that way. I just about blew the motor out on this thing because it was running too hot. As I put it on top of my softball buckets, that was all padded in the back, so we're padded on top, so Try not to do that. Keep it on the side. It'll work best. But it comes with two, the small and the big diameter priming pocket cleaners, and it comes with those 8 collets, those three case, I guess we would call them case setters, you know what I call them, and those two chamfering tools there. So that's what it comes with out of the box. They've got instructions and everything, and tell you how to do it. Now as far as this thing goes, the way it works is what you do, you resize your case, and I'll take this out just because I can here a second. So this screws off, and I'll kind of show you how it works here. So that screws off. Alright, and my O-ring came out over here. Alright, so you got your kind of case. This is the medium one that comes for 30mm 6.5. And on the inside there you got come out, you little bastard. There we go. Alright, so it fell out. There we go. So on the inside here you got basically it bevels down. Can't see that in there. Light kind of screwing the light up. You kind of see right there. Inside it bevels, it kind of contours in there like that at about a 20-degree angle. You set what this does is right here. This has got a beveled side. And see if you can't see that. It got a beveled side and a flat side. That beveled side goes and contours inside of there. It sits in there nice and secure. And this sits over the case neck like so. So that's how the case sits inside the cutter. So it sits like that, and that's why you can get a very consistent cutting depth every single time. So just like that, it sits right up against the neck. Now the only reason how you can get a consistent cutting depth is if you resize all your cases exactly the same. So if you've got, say, a bolt gun and a let me put you back stationary quick. If you've got a bolt gun and say an AR, and your bolt gun you only neck size, you don't full length resize, then you've got your AR 10 or 15, whatever, and you decide that you full length resize those. Well, and you go to trim them, if you try to keep the same settings there, it's not going to be the same. So if you want to trim to 2.005, say for 308, with your bolt and your AR, both trim to 2.005, and you come to find out that when you measure them after you get done, you're thinking, oh well, I don't have to reset it, I'm good. Well, you won't be. You got to make sure that you reset it and get the proper distance, because the way that it cuts, it goes off the distance of where that shoulder's at in relation to the that little freaking collet that's in there. So be mindful of that. That's a pretty important part there. So what I just did there, the way it works, and you can unscrew this right here. Let's zoom in there. You unscrew that right there. Fucking shadow. Alright, so you unscrew that, you back that off, you adjust it, then you've got dials that you can go off of right there. So adjust in thousandths of an inch. So every 5 of those, every other one is 5 thousandths of an inch. In the middle is a halfway. So that's how you adjust it, and it's actually pretty accurate. I've kind of monkeyed around with it a couple times to test the accuracy of how close it actually is as far as the micrometer on there is, and it's actually pretty accurate. So so that's a good feature it has there. So as far as getting it set up, and I mean that's kind of all the other features it has. I mean, you can put this is, I think, 832 threads, so you can put whatever you want in there. You can put your frickin' what do you call it, your dissuader on there. You can de-swage. You can put your primer pocket cleaner on there. You can rotate, and that's what I do after I clean them up. I take all these off and put all my my primer pocket tools on there, and I use that, and it makes it go a little quicker instead of kind of screwing with your hands. So I've got this one already set up. Pay attention to the arrows. The arrows are actually, it'll tell you which one. Yeah, I think the main shaft is reverse thread, so you can basically loosen it like this, and you adjust this back and forth to move the main shaft in or out, and that will set your distance. So I keep it set, and you screw this in and out. This is goes back and forth. And this is the locking ring, basically, to lock it shut. So the way I usually set it up is I'll take a case, I'll measure it, I'll say, okay, it's I trimmed to 2.005 or thereabouts, somewhere in there. And it measures 2.020. So I'm like, okay. So what I'll do, I'll put it in here. And then I'll adjust this to where it sets, and then I'll look at my gauge. I'll bring this up, I'll look down in here. I'll look down in there, and I'll watch. I'll look at the head. I'll take this down, and when you do this, by the way, make sure it's unplugged so you don't get your fingers cut up. You know, safety first. You know. So I'll take this, the case, I'll put it in there, and I'll back this up. Back this up all the way, and I'll keep screwing it back down until that case starts to grind on the cutting head. Then I'll stop. Then I'll look over here on my micrometer dial on the side of the shaft. Then I'll move it in whatever I need to move to get my cutting depth. I generally get pretty close the first try, so if I get close, I'll stop. But then you can always shut it off and back it up and make tweak adjustments to it. Just so you know, that's what I found the fastest way to actually get to the correct distance you want to go to, by using that method, and as well as using your little measuring dial over here on the side. So as far as setting it up, that's kind of pretty much it. So this inside here, the sole purpose of this here is to loosen or tighten on the cartridge, to keep it nice and snug in there. If you're running one-handed, it's a good way to do it. However, you can't over tighten this, and you won't be able to move it at all. Like right now, it's stuck in there. I generally, what I like to do is to loosen up all the way. I'll put it in there, and I'll kind of tighten it down till I can just barely, oh, a little bit too tight, just barely move it in there. See, I can just barely move it back and forth in there. That's about the tension that I want on the cartridge or on the case whenever I'm actually cutting, because you don't want it too loose. If you get too loose, it'll rattle back and forth in there, and you'll get inconsistent cuts on either side. You'll cut more one side than the other, or if you tighten it too much, you won't be able to get it all the way in there, and you'll think you're done cutting, and you're actually not all the way done cutting on there. And I'll cover that in here in a second too. So I'll set it back to where I had it. I can just barely move it, just like that. There you go. All right, so start with this. Measure the case. Zero it out. Right here is some nice, awesome Lake City brass. I just courtesy the world's finest navy. So got that 2.015. So 2.015. I've got my head set already now. One addition that I have made to this thing, it makes this a lot easier, and I recommend doing it as well, or find something similar. This right here is the cartridge, the case holder for my Sinclair NT 2500, my case turner, or my neck turner. If you see my other video about that, I should kind of show you how the fast way of using that tool and how to set it up as well. But I don't use that, because if you see in the video, I just chuck the cases up in a drill and then use that on the neck turner. So I don't even use this portion. However, I found that this piece is invaluable in saving your thumbs from frickin' certain extinction if you're using this for too long. So what I like to do is same way it's used, is chuck it up in here inside that in the nectaring tool, then use that as leverage as you're turning and pushing on this cartridge to make sure you have a 100% complete cut all the way around, and it's not cutting anymore. Because if you put this in your finger, especially if you're shooting smaller cases like 223 or something like that, your thumb, if you have freaking big thumbs, you're gonna tear the crap out of your thumb pushing that in there all the time. So use this or find something like this to help you out. It makes things a lot easier. So what we're gonna do here is turn it on. You see when you turn it on, it spins all 3 or all 4 gears at the same time. So just be careful when you don't put your hand right here. Freaking get your finger caught up in this an outside chamfering tool. That'll fucking suck. So what I like to do is go ahead. I'm gonna be taking about 10 thousandths off of this thing. Put one hand here. Take the cartridge case, and since I got to cut a lot off this one, it's going to take a little while to get to it, and just push in. You can kind of hear it when it cuts and when it stops cutting. And what I like to do is give it a little turn, back and forth, back and forth. That's why I said this tool comes in handy, so you can get all around there, get all sides cut completely, 100%. Once you do that, you can hear when it stops cutting. She's done cutting, good to go. Now you got cut case. I come up here, inside and outside. Now the one that comes with it, this is called the VLD inside chamfer, very low drag. So what it does, you barely have to kind of hit on there. And if you see the case here, you see I kind of left a ring right here. That's from the little cushion they got in here. And then this one right here, you see that's from where it was making contact with that collet on the inside. So, but I was talking about that very low drag one is be careful not to ram that thing hard inside there, because it'll make a nice sharp edge on that case, and that's what you want to kind of avoid. So, measure it here. And since I moved it, I kind of screwed up my thing, but it's 2.002 and a half. It's about 2.003. So at that one, we'll do one more just to kind of show you how accurate this thing will be. Yeah, kind of initial one takes a lot of material off there. You're gonna want to make sure that you're kind of doing this over a flat table or something like that, not kind of over like where kids walk around and stuff. Like if you get hardwood floors, something like that, kids will step on this, and some of these chunks it takes out are fairly sharp. So you want to make sure you don't get a piece of brass in your foot. That'll kind of suck. See, now measure this one again, and we'll see if I'm. There we go. 2.003. So it's really accurate. It's very accurate if you kind of have to get a feel for it. But a couple things that make it super accurate is, one, this I think is the most important thing, that's the second most important thing. But the most important thing is making sure that you resize all of your cases the exact same way. Because like I was saying, if you have a bolt and an AR that both take the same cartridge, and you're trying to do them all at once, you're going to have some inconsistencies, because the collet is going to be setting right here, and depending upon how far you push that shoulder back, is going to determine how much material is going to be taken off. So keep that in mind whenever you're using this thing. So that's pretty much how you use it. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's a really good tool. It saves me many hours of. I used to do the whole freaking Lee or Lyman crank thing, and crank those freaking cases out, and it sucked ass. So really throws your shoulder out. So this is the lazy man's tool to help kind of save you guys some time, and also makes it a lot more accurate too, because you're sitting there cranking. Sometimes on those hand crank ones, the case may not set completely on that base in there, and you're cranking, and you're actually cutting more off than what you're supposed to, or you're going too far in, or something like that. I think this is probably the most accurate way you can get the consistent cases lengths, other than those preset ones that you put on a drill and chuck those up and do it that way. But those ones you can't adjust the depth. Right here you actually can, and it's fairly accurate too. So neat little tool. I've had it for a while, and I don't think I'll ever get rid of it unless it breaks. Now, as far as the price goes on it, I know I picked it up at Gander Mountain when it was on sale. Like, I think they're around like at least over $100. But I got this one for like 65 or 70 bucks. I got like a killer deal. And anybody that shops at Gander Mountain, you know, at least the one in Wisconsin, they marked everything up in that store at least 20%. So when you can find it, find online, go on the forums. AR-15, I know I've seen a couple on there, guys selling these things. But they're not really that common to see people selling them, because once they have them, they don't want to get rid of them. They're an awesome tool, pretty space handy. I know you got that, like I was talking about before, the RCBS 5-station one. That one takes up a lot of space, and it's loud, and it's it's got 5 rotating gears, so you can do all your stuff on there at once, but at the same time it takes up a lot of space. This one's mobile. You can move it wherever you want to. It is kind of loud, I guess you can say. I got a microphone on now. I don't know how much that you guys picked up, but it's decently loud. I mean, you can watch TV while you do it too, so it's not that bad. But yeah, there you have it. Frankfort Arsenal case trim and prep center. I haven't been using too much of Frankfort Arsenal stuff, other than kind of this and the micrometer, or what do you call it? What do you call it? Micrometer? Yeah. No, caliper, dumbass. There you go. So these are really the only two. However, I have been looking around trying to find their case lube. I got that case lube just kind of on a whim, just because it looked cool. I've never used spray case lube before, but I used it one time, and their spray case lube is frickin' the bomb. Never could find it. I think it's online. It's got to look a little bit harder, or down in the Reloading store, and see if I can find some more. But the Hornady One Shot is kind of shitty. I don't really like it that much. It doesn't last that long either. That Frankfort Arsenal stuff lasted a while, and it took a couple sprays and it was good to go. But anyway, there you have it. Freaking case trimmer. That's how I trim my brass, and it's pretty quick. So if you have any comments, suggestions, anything, make them down in the comment section below, and you can ask questions over there. I'll try my best to answer them. I haven't really been around the home or on dry land recently, so I'll get more videos out. I just recently put together a 6.5 Creedmoor upper with a 24-inch Criterion barrel on it, from Fulton Armory, along with the same Mega Arms Ma 10 upper and handguard that I had that you've seen in my other videos, the 308. Pretty much same thing, and took that out to the range this past Friday and shot some pretty good groups with it. Got about 3 rounds inside of probably inside of my thumbnail, so a little less than a dime. So yeah, pretty good gun. I'll probably make a video shooting at it once I get out to the range again, shooting at long distance. But yeah, that's all I got. So you guys take it easy, and see you in the next video.